the Skader things.
We're not doing that as the intro. I'm gonna be.
Hey guys, welcome to the episode. We are getting into a really good one, and this is one of our biggest episodes yet. Thank you all for taking the time to join me, Blue and Obby. It's been
Tylenol
wonderful.
This morning.
Okay, fine. You can do your actual fucking intro, Jesus.
No. We're doing that. That's the intro. Okay. Hi everyone.
Hello.
Hello. We Skader things.
Welcome to Skader Things.
Getting this episode started.
We got all
it wasn't
hyped up
at all
on
an
our
issue.
Tylenol earlier. We're a little bit extra autistically today. We do apologize.
We've got a lot. I have great news, everybody. I decided.
Did you buy yours at Costco too? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
We don't have Tylenol here in the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
But I was able to access the black market, and I was able to acquire some Tylenol. And
did you get extra strength?
Well, my Bond villain master plan is to essentially become as autistic as humanly possible, so I will irritate the fuck out of the human race. So I have.
You're doing a good job at it.
Supply.
Has someone told him, Obby? He already does.
He's doing a really good job at it.
You could be the spokesperson for Tylenol.
Well, you know, it's funny you say that because I think I would be a great spokesperson in general, and I think that this new venture I've taken, where I have my entire storage cupboard in my bedroom has like 3 crates of Tylenol, and within each like tub there's like at least like 150 capsules. So I reckon I've probably got about a 5-year supply of them sitting pretty in there.
150 capsules is actually a kind of small bottle.
That is a very small
I buy it. Yeah, because I buy mine at Costco, and I get the 2 500 milligram each bottles. And yeah, each one of those is about a little less than my hand size, and I have little hands.
You can tell that I definitely don't take medication or like anything. I'm not actively on medication.
You need to take some more Tylenol, is what you're saying, because clearly you're not autistic enough for this.
The bottles of ibuprofen have 200 tablets in them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ibuprofen. Right. That's Tylenol's competitor. The ibuprofen causes the ADHD and the Tylenol causes the autism.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Some of us need to lay off both, right, Obby?
I think we need to explain some things first, because we're doing a very bad job. Hi. Today is a very topical episode. Like, this is probably the most topical episode that we've ever done, because we are recording this 2 days after the initial announcement, and this will be up in 2 days from when we're recording it.
Let's go 4 days.
Yeah, it's a 4-day turnaround. That's really good for us, actually.
That's
actually
really
extremely
good. We're not late
good
right
for
now
us.
either. That's
Yeah.
Wow.
It's not like we were supposed to record yesterday.
All the extra Tylenol you've been taking.
We've been on the ball.
You can channel in.
Don't fret, my pets. We have been on the ball with recording. We've had no issues, no delays, absolutely
none at all.
Whoa, hold on. Evan, did you take Tylenol PM? Because this sounds like you're heading into your PM talk.
God, I'm going to get so old at this bit very quickly.
Yeah,
this is gonna.
Here's the thing, guys. We're not as an autistic, we're all autistics. We're not happy about someone.
Well,
let's
explain what's going on first. Okay.
Say what's going on. I'm going to say my part.
On September 22nd, the current administration of the U.S. declared that acetophenone, which is the main ingredient, did I say acetaminophen? My bad. Acetaminophen has a correlation and causes autism in pregnant
women. Look at this belly.
Yeah.
Come here, Evan. You have a big belly too. Come here.
Yay! I'm coming.
Well, no, Evan just learned that he can't be pregnant because of Kyrgyzstan.
Oh shit! You're right. It's Kurzgesagt. You uncultured hog. Why are you
can't leave your Tylenol all over the floor? There's children around here, Evan. No. We have to be responsible.
I hope they chug the entire bottle. They need to become seasoned.
Autism is on the line, and we don't want everybody autistic. That's the thing.
They need to become
people.
To be fair, if everyone is autistic, we're no longer neurodivergent, are we?
That's a fair point.
What are we, Jess?
We're just normal. If everyone is autistic, everyone is normal.
We're just cookie cutter shitbirds with no personality or substance, and our individuality will die with it.
Yeah.
But I do believe it's in our best interest for the people of the world to become seasoned Tylenol rollers. You know, people who are just on that shit all the time, really, really getting on it. You know.
Uh-huh. So back to the intro here, Obby's explaining is us as autistics, and all three of us are actually autistic, hashtag there. And we represent a community of autistic gamers. And some people took this news and they were very angry. I've had quite a few people message me very upset, like very angry. Even some past skaters have reached out, very, very angry. And I'm more how Obby took it, which is sweet. I'm gonna take some Tylenol and get mega autistic today. You have to laugh.
Oh,
and
no,
when
not
something
mega
has,
autistic. I'm
what was
getting
it you
mega
said?
autism.
Mega
Megaautism.
autism.
Okay. I'm gonna mega
Here's
evolve.
the thing. We know it's not pot. We know we're not, you know, rabbit hole chasers. We know that Tylenol did not cause any of our autism. Oh, hello? What was that?
Hello.
Did
I
you
think,
hear?
yeah,
Did
you
you?
kind of bleeped out for a second.
Oh, hi. So
Hello?
welcome
Discord
back.
is part of the
Sorry.
rabbit hole. No, we can't use Discord anymore.
Discord,
Oh, shit.
you need more titles, sir. No, but here's the thing: you can be really upset and mad and yell to the sky, but you can also just laugh at the how
Absurdity.
humorous this absurdity it is. And us three, along with quite a few other people, have just chosen to laugh at this and mock it because you know, you laugh or you cry sometimes. I should say you laugh or you get angry, but in this case it is so ridiculous. We knew they were going to come up with something. I wasn't expecting this.
Listen,
yeah,
this isn't our
it's
first
just, you just
rodeo
laugh.
as autistics.
Yeah,
When it comes to medicine, it's been an age-old truth.
Wait till you find out what made you gay. Oh God.
Wait until you realize that it was also the vaccine.
The ramen? The ramen made me gay? The what? What'd you say?
Water's
The
turning the frogs gay.
vaccines as well.
Mm.
Vaccines
Well,
made me ADHD.
that's the one they wanted to go with. The one that's what they wanted to go with, but I think they knew that there was just going to be so much pushback worldwide on that one. But Tylenol is what they chose. But it really makes you show when someone of such authority says, I think, and there's no studies, there's no research behind it, there's nothing that proves this, and they can get away with that and then say, oh, but we have a cure, which one of the people that was standing behind him owns the company of. You go, well, that doesn't make sense. Plus, as an autistic, I can tell you there's no cure. There's medications that can help control different aspects. Let's say if severe anxiety, you take an anxiety med maybe. If you have I'm trying to think of something else, bad aggression, you might take a mood stabilizer of sorts. There's definitely things that you can take to help if you need that, if you want that. But there's no cure. It's just not possible. You cannot take the autism out of an autistic. It'd be like splitting you in half. It just doesn't work. And it was ridiculous. And I think if anything, it drew the autism community together. I'm seeing people that usually don't even agree like on things, agree on their hatred for this and the disgust. Also, can we just say, guys, I don't know about you, but you're not a disease. Obby, you're not a disease. Evan, you're not a disease. You're both disorders, but you're not diseases. And
I am disorderly, to be fair.
It makes a difference. When you hear someone say that someone has such and such disease, you immediately kind of take a step back, like, oh, you know, it's a natural instinct to pull away from the word disease. And saying that and having it repeated so much, it really does hurt the autism community. It makes people look at us negatively. You know, we need this cure, you know, oh, someone had a beautiful child, but they were autistic. And it's like, no, they had a beautiful child. Let's just stop there, you know? So we got to stop that. So how are we going to handle this mockery?
Yeah, I think that's probably the best
jokes.
medicine. I actually want to get some clarity, and I'm asking this mostly because I'm from the United Kingdom. So again, Tylenol isn't. We don't sell Tylenol.
Paracetamol, yeah, you do have a it's your paracetamol.
I know the administration declared it was Tylenol, but did they say specifically Tylenol, or did they hint at it being literally like acetaminophen?
Okay, that's a funny story. So he tried to say acetaminophen, but the leader of our country could not say it, and he goes, Tylenol, you know, it's Tylenol. It's not. It actually, that's a brand.
So he's trying to blame. So he's blaming it on paracetamol. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So the medication itself is acetaminophen, but a brand of it. Keep in mind, my grocery store has their own brand.
Millions. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Every grocery store chain, every Walmart, Target, all of them have their own. Amazon. They all have their own. By the way, that brings me, Obby, are you Tylenol autistic? Or are you generic autistic? Are you name brand autistic?
Honestly,
I feel like we're gonna have subcategories.
I've never. She's asking me the question, Evan. Okay, let me answer the question.
Sorry. I'm just too excited. I'm sorry. What can I say?
Okay, I never asked my mom which.
He's the generic.
I never asked my mom which flavor she took when I was pregnant. I don't know. Maybe she took chocolate.
Did she get the one from Dollar Tree or did she get the one from Target? You know, I don't know. Packaging. I don't know.
I guess I'll have to ask her after this.
A whole new world. Yeah, Mom, I know you took Tylenol while pregnant, but which store brand? Was it Kirkland? Like, because I heard they don't use quite the same detailed ingredients as the main, and it might be why I I nod my head a lot. I don't know. That's so bad.
All right, Evan. Let us hear your questions. Let's hear your questions, Evan, because if we let Blue talk more, she's gonna run this entire podcast.
I don't have any more questions, but I was gonna say I do have my name for what I'd be. So the UK does have brands of paracetamol and ibuprofen, but most people here literally just, like, if you're taking tablets, you're literally just calling it the thing that you're taking. You're not calling it by the brand name. So usually, like, in stores here, so Panadol, I don't know if America has that. Panadol is like a big brand in the UK, but you would never say I'm gonna right. So we have Panadol, we have Galpharm, we've got Anadin, we've got all sorts of different brands, but the emphasis on medication is so disconnected from the brand that you're just taking paracetamol. So did I take Panadol? Yes, I did, but realistically, I just went to the store and got some paracetamol, and that's also the same. So every single supermarket also has their own one. So if you go to Morrison's will probably have their own paracetamol. If you go to the Co-op, they'll have that. Right. So you're never really going, can you go to the store and get me some Panadol? You're really just saying,
you don't say it by brand. You don't call it You don't call it by brand name. You call it by the medication. In the US, we tend to say Advil or Tylenol. Although I tend to say ibuprofen.
I tend to say ibuprofen.
Yeah, but Tylenol, I will say specifically Tylenol.
So what I've noticed is that even though I don't really pay attention to the brand, the paracetamol I generally seem to be picking up when I am sick, like I am right now actually, is Panadol. So I would be the Panadol variant of autistic. I have Panadol to blame on my autism.
You come from the Panadol region of autism. Okay.
Pretty much. I think it is. I honestly do think it's like it's really just like pathetic and really just quite sad. But I see the humor in it, and I think, like, the thing is that it is a massive undermining of, like, basic medical science and just, any kind of logic or common sense, and it just shows how, like, detached things are. But I also think, but we've survived periods where, like, vaccines causing autism was bigger, and although both, people being skeptical of both is bad, I'd rather people be skeptical of a brand of painkillers than a literal, like, injection which saves other people's lives. Exactly. This is the other problem as well.
Tylenol is not the number one go-to for if I have a headache or I have a fever or something, unless you're a heart patient. I know, like, a lot of cardiology patients, they cannot use ibuprofen for whatever reason. And I want to say, and I could be wrong on this, I want to say too, when pregnant, I think your doctor has always preferred you to use Tylenol over ibuprofen, but that's just, I'm going off memory. I'm not sure.
It's been a while since you've been pregnant.
It's been a while, yeah. So yeah, that's but Tylenol is a very safe med. It's like when you think of, like, of all the medications out there that you can take while pregnant, Tylenol is probably what feels like one of the safest meds ever, to the point that it doesn't really work for most people. If I have a headache and all there is Tylenol, I'm still gonna have a headache. But if there's ibuprofen, I know in 20 minutes that headache is gone. Like,
Yeah.
See,
to me, it's a very clear night and day.
I've never really used it for like headaches and stuff because it really doesn't
What'd you use
help
it
me.
for?
I use it for just like basic overall pain. Like if I'm having like a bad day with my foot pain or something like that, then I would
And
take
so Tylenol works well
ibuprofen.
for you?
No,
ibuprofen?
ibuprofen. But
Yeah,
like
same. Ibuprofen's what I use.
I've never taken like ibuprofen or anything like that for headache pain. I usually use
Oh.
what is it? Excedrin whenever I use
Excedrin.
yeah,
Excedrin.
Excedrin for
Excedrin is
headaches.
amazing on headaches.
It
Yeah,
is.
agreed.
Even though I'm pretty sure it's also the same
Is
ingredients
that
as
what's next?
ibuprofen.
Yeah, and these were like souped up. I even take, when I get
Yeah.
migraines, I take Excedrin migraine, and
Mhm.
just one of those pills, and give me 30 minutes and I'm back pretty good. So
I mean, I'll probably sound like a bit of an outlier here, or maybe even quite stupid, or both. But when I get sick, I don't really take much medication. Like if I'm really sick, I absolutely will. But like if I've got a bit of a cold about me right now, but like I'm not unwell enough to be in bed, right? Or like be off sick. Like I'm a bit fatigued, my nose is a bit blocked, my ears sometimes go a bit strange, and I need to like clear them. But other than that, like I'm okay. So I haven't taken any medication. I have to be pretty like sick, or like quite like in bedified to kind of take medication. It's not because I don't want to. It's not because I like I have a distrust of medication. I guess I'm quite stubborn. It's like, yeah, I'll take medication later, and then I just fucking never do.
So
you're the one that has a headache and then complains they have a headache but won't take something.
It's almost like
you've got me.
You guys remember our 4th episode of when we were talking a lot about medication and stuff like that? By the way, before we continue, I just looked recently. We are only 3 weeks away from Skader Thing's 1-year anniversary. So we have to plan something for that. But either way,
I'll bring the Tylenol.
Either way, yeah, this is gonna be a very reminiscent episode on like if you go back to episode 4 or 3. I think it's actually 3 because 4 was Rin's episode. We talked a lot about like medication and stuff like related to autism diagnosis and stuff like this. This is basically, I guess, the sequel episode now. And one of the things that I talked about in it was that my mom has a lot of problems with her health, and that she takes a lot of different pain medication in order to help with it. And always seeing her take it and getting her body so used to the medication that it stopped working very much scared me. So I try my best whenever like I need to take pain medication for something that I don't try and use it very consistently in order for my body to not build up a tolerance to it. What that means is that, like, say if I have bad foot pain, I will take ibuprofen one day if it's prescribed, like, oh, you should probably take like 4 capsules of ibuprofen because like how bad it is. I will do it then, and they say maybe take it again in another 8 hours. I'll probably wait 10 hours or something like that instead. Like I try to do it as irregularly as possible just to like make sure my body doesn't build up a tolerance to it, because it does. Your body does build up a tolerance to whatever you put inside your body.
All of it.
So
yeah,
this is like going off of just that entire episode. I was never scared that medication would make me more autistic though. Like, believe it or not, I'm pretty comfortable in my autism, and I think that my autism has neither increased nor decreased since that episode. And I've taken a lot of pain medication because I had a full-on fucking surgery since then. So I don't know, I don't feel any more or less autistic. Maybe I need to just take more. Can you hand me some?
Oh, yes, here you go. Hi, there you go. There you go, special delivery. Thank you. It's been, I'll say, it's hard. I even had put a message, like, I think on Blue Sky or something, where I was like, as an American, it's just embarrassing. It's embarrassing. We have incredible scientists and researchers all over the world that have dedicated their lives to trying to find out, what causes autism, or what causes people to be autistic, I guess is a better way to say it. And the research, that right now, the most current research has really focused on genetics. It has been proven, yes, we know genetics play a role, and then also environmental triggers, and it's probably going to end up being somewhere in the middle where you can be predisposed to it, and
Mm.
be autistic or not, and depending on environmental
It's probably
triggers
gonna be
trigger
something
that.
just like a ginger gene.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And so, but it's like, you have these really intelligent people that again have gone to school half their lives. They spent the other half of their lives studying this just to help out. And it's such a mockery for someone to come in and just be like, "Well, I think we decided it's this." It's a clown. It's just a clown show, and it's embarrassing. As an American, it's very embarrassing because we have friends, of course, our skaters all over the world, like representing in every country. And autism is something that's important to us because we're each autistic. We all feel a little differently about our autism, which is, I think, pretty rad.
I mean,
We
that
all have
same
answered.
episode, we talked differently about
Yep.
like how you guys
Yeah.
would keep your ADHD, I would keep my autism. Like, I think we
Right.
were
Yep.
very split on that.
Yeah, we were. And that's something that Evan and I do relate with. We're and not all autistics feel this way. Some autistics, they love being autistic. They wear those t-shirts, autism's my superpower. They got the full price Tylenol. They got the
They got
good Tylenol.
Tylenol extra strength.
They got Tylenol extra strength with codeine. They got Tylenol 3. Um they literally got the narcotic one because they love it, and it's great. Me, I think I'm like Dollar Tree knockoff brand Tylenol, because mine does impact me, and it impacts me, not just like, it impacts me negatively. Sorry, severe severe anxiety. If I get really really worked up, I can go mute. Like, there's a lot of things that it makes it incredibly difficult. I'll sit outside of a store, have a full blown panic attack, and go home. Like, it's I I would happily trade those things in for a normal mind, or what I think is a normal mind. We don't really know what normal is, but what I feel, the idea of not having those things. And Evan has stressed the same, where, if we had a choice. But saying that, there's no cure, there's no pill you can take. Once your brain is formed and it is how it is, this is what it is.
Yeah,
And
it's
one thing
locked
as an
into this.
autistic, you really have to do is learn to accept and love yourself through it. And that's something I am still working on, is the learning to love myself and accept myself, because I do see things that I think probably annoy other people, like Evan and I arguing all the time. That's a good example.
Or just
There's lots of
talking.
things about, or just talking in general, but there's lots of things that I feel, I if I wasn't autistic, I could be a better friend. If I wasn't autistic, I could be a better this and a better that. And it's a very negative mindset, but I think it's a very realistic mindset as an autistic. And the problem is a lot of times we think these things internally, but we don't ever express them, and they kind of just sit and fester instead of actually having open communication about it and us talking more about it, kind of like what we do at FSFs, where we do just get it out and be like, you know what, I'm sorry, I hate that I'm so annoying, I hate that I do these things, but I can't change it, because asking me not to do it be asking me not to be me. So it's more learning to accept and love yourself than it is to try to pretend, that we're normal. And if Evan and I could take that magic pill, yeah, we would. Other
Yeah.
autistics, nope, they love their autism, they don't have the
So
anxiety
that's a far
inside.
way
They're
to go.
Yeah. And and I'm not trying to talk for you so much, Evan, but both of us,
Yeah,
one
of
thing I
course.
love about us is we to each their own. Like, there is no right or wrong way. We're not one of those like, you should get rid of your autism if you can. Nope. I think it's great. The people that embrace it and love it, and don't, they're not where I'm at yet. I'm jealous of them, because they're
I have
comfortable
that.
and I'm not.
Well, that's kind of it. I mean, I have that mentality, and we've talked about this in an episode before as well, if I remember
Mhm. It
right.
was that same one, I
But
think. Yeah.
Yep.
yeah, and in my opinion, like when it comes to this, I see how you deal with your own diagnosis of autism in the same way that I look at how you deal with the opinions of a movie that's come out. I might fucking hate the movie, and I may never want to see that movie again. I may even wish for it to be pulled from the records. But if you liked the movie or you thought it was great, that's good for you. And so it's kind of the same with like your autism diagnosis. If you like the fact you're autistic, if it's something that you're proud of and something that you want to wear as like a badge of honor, that's really good for you, and I'm happy for you. And to each to their own. But for me, and as Blue's just said for her as well, it's just something that neither of us like. And I feel like the curse of autism is you're trying to spend your life trying to learn to like, or at least not hate, parts of yourself that are designed to make you dislike yourself. And it's yeah, it's shit. And so for me, it's exactly that. So when you have the most powerful country in the world, the most economically powerful, most arguably, well, I don't know on paper if they are, but one of the most scientifically developed nations in the world, when you have the entire like government saying that there's that the answer to curing a disease that is known as autism is to just stop taking Tylenol, it's very insulting because we could, I'm not saying this would ever happen, but we could actually have spent all this time pretending about what the actual problem is or what the actual cause of it is, finding a real one, and maybe actually giving people a choice or giving people an out from this. But instead it's being used for I won't say yeah, for politically motivated gains, for profit motivated gains. It's
For
not being focused
profit
on.
gains too.
Yeah, it's
That's
not.
a big one.
It's never modern medicine.
Shouldn't benefit from a public health announcement. You know what I mean? When you're on that stage.
Modern medicine, particularly in America, but even but also in a lot of like neoliberal countries, it's very much, it's all about profit. It's not about let's actually cure this horrible disease. It's about how much money can we make? How much can we impress the board of directors with our recent profit margins? And of course, sometimes the profit of the company is just a byproduct of the medicinal success. And of course, you can never really have, pharmaceutical companies succeeding without there being large profit. There's always going to be a big pharma, but I feel like the morality is being left out the door in the sense and the ethics of how we deal with medicinal and sort of medical progressions nowadays, and it's just a shame.
Well, and there's one thing we haven't really even touched on, and that is the want to exterminate, or maybe there's better wording for that, but to eliminate autism. And it's the way it's really being suggested and proposed is we've got to stop, we've got to remove autism, and the picture being painted is of this disease that is so bad that's ravaging beautiful people, and making them dumb. They can't do things, and that's just, first of all, ignorant beyond ignorant. But it too, you have to look at the scary side of where this talk is going, because to suggest wanting to remove an entire group of people because they are neurodivergent, what's the word? Autism is a neurotype, right?
It's
And so
neurosis.
Yeah, well, it's but it's a neurotype is what I've been
Oh,
reading,
yeah.
is now been classified. Yeah, so we are neurodivergent, but autism itself is a neurotype, and I don't know if people feel threatened by it. I'm not really sure, but why would you call for the removal of a group of people like this? And that, is it, are we classified as disabled? Yes. Pretty much every country classifies as autism as a disability. We're not one of those, it's a new ability. No, sorry. We're not. We don't play that game. It's not, because again, for some of us, it is incredibly life affecting. But it is what it is. But it doesn't make us not good community members. It doesn't make us not good moms and dads and spouses and employees and what do you call a church, like congressional, I don't know, people, I don't know. It doesn't make us anything negative to where our existence would need to be removed from society, basically eradicated. So that's, there's so much wrong with what's being said that sometimes we don't look at the full big picture of what actually is being said. And that was was being said. And it's like, if you had and it was actually Nin that brought this up to me. We were driving and Nin was like, basically he's suggesting this. And it's like Like, because and it made me think because of what you said about being given a choice. You know, if science down the line can tell you, we can run DNA scans on your, you know, your cells. You know, I'll say, you know, yes, your child is going to have severe autism. No, your child is not. You know, yes, your child's going to have autism. That's a whole nother talk, and that's like a scary, literally scary thought in general that we can pick and choose like that. But to me, this is like similar to that because it's like trying to say,
It's in the
if we really think
same.
this one thing causes it, everybody stop. From now on, doctors are going to have to tell you not to take that. When really there's nothing wrong with the outcome if you, first of all, we all know Tylenol doesn't cause it. But if
Yeah,
Tylenol, if it was, let's just play devil's advocate,
any
if it
influence.
really was, why are we stopping it? Some of the most brilliant minds in the world, the reason we have the things we have today are due to autistics. Some of the best music ever composed is due to autistics. Some of the best artists, autistics. I even just read that a really popular baseball player was autistic, like that nobody even knew, and it had to do with him counting the stitches. He knew everything about everything, and it's like, you know, to say they'll never be athletes, they'll never be these things. Again, the picture they're trying to paint and portray is of a really severe disabled person, crippled, that cannot function. That's what they're trying to paint this picture as. We're trying to help you get rid of this. But the reality is they're getting rid of a lot of the brilliant minds in the world.
I agree. I've got a lot to add, but I honestly am interested to hear what Obby has to say.
Yeah, I am too.
Oh,
Abby, what's up?
really?
What's your thoughts on this? Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
Thank
am.
you. I
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate it. So
Don't do the sarcastic voice. My God.
I'm not being sarcastic.
Just say your piece. Jesus Christ.
So I will say that like I didn't pay attention to like the whole public service announcement on it or anything. Okay, wow, thanks.
Sorry.
Okay. I didn't pay attention to the service and everything at the beginning. Because like to me it's just like, okay, well, they've been saying it years and years now that vaccines are the cause of autism, and people still to this day believe that's the actual cause of autism. And like the unfortunate part is like they're using like scientific data and stuff like that that they gathered from like Harvard and another place I forgot, and they're just misquoting as well on like what they actually said in those things. So one of the things was like they did a study where they asked they pulled 996 pregnant women, I think, for one of the studies. They showed basically an association. Now, when it comes to like research and stuff like this, there's a huge difference between correlation and association. And one of the videos that I watched used the analogy that Simpsons used, where Lisa tries to sell Homer a rock, saying that this rock keeps tigers away. This is just a normal rock. It has nothing to do with it. But do you see any tigers around?
Yeah.
That's the difference between association and correlation. There's no tigers around because you live in an area that there are no tigers. But
correlation does not equal causation, exactly.
So when it comes to this, one of I forgot who, but like one of the people on the panel said that the dean of Harvard agrees with the study, when actually the Harvard dean posted an email right after this announcement saying, hey, we have data that shows association, but I have no data to confirm that this is the actual case. Which let's be
which is
clear
very
here.
important.
Association is very, very easy to do. Like, I know that the biggest pregnancy study in the world is one from Sweden, and they've been pulling data for like over 25 years now on millions of different pregnant women. And they have in their own studies shown that the correlation, that there is none, first off, but the association is a person who takes I don't even know the name either. Tylenol is 0.009% more likely to have a child with autism. That's not even 100th of a percent. So it really is mind-boggling. The like way that scientists and researchers are factually stating like, hey, this is not concrete proof. Hey, this could be an association. Hey, this could be a fucking rounding error. And
well, it could be too, because it could be the headache that caused them to have to take that Tylenol that actually caused it.
And the biggest thing,
because it's such a general med.
There is one more thing too. And that is the fact that, like, I think one of the biggest issues that the current government sees is that autism rates are on the rise. Now, there are many different factors that could be the cause of it.
Reasons for that.
But probably the most obvious reason is that more people are taking their children to be diagnosed a lot more often now than they have been back in like the 80s and 90s, when it was very hard to get a diagnosis to
this is so my area.
And the more people who are getting diagnosis, obviously the more % chance that people are going to have a diagnosis. Like, even some of the dumbest people in the world have been saying this, and yet some of the smartest people can't understand it. And it's very frustrating.
There is also there's another big smoking gun to this increase in the rates of diagnosis, and that's also how autism is classified. You know, several years ago, I think it was even you who brought this up. Yeah, several years ago, 2013, sorry, the DSM-5 basically kind of meshed a lot of the different sort of neurodivergencies into just one label: autism spectrum disorder. So what wasn't autism on, you know, one day suddenly now became classified as autism, having PDD, NOS.
It's the opposite one that I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Okay, let me explain why. Because here's the thing. No, I lived through this. I was literally working as a behavioral therapist at the time. BABA. So anyway, so what happened was, you used to have Asperger's syndrome, which Asperger's syndrome is classified as autism. It is under the it was
same with
classified
PDD,
under autism.
pervasive developmental
disorder. So then
disorder.
you have PDD, NOS, pervasive developmental disorder, others not otherwise specified, was also classified as autism. Even though that one was more like autism tendencies, it was still under like
the
insurance.
autism umbrella.
It was under the autism umbrella.
Away. So I'm with you.
Then you had autism, which at the time was just more known as autism or classic autism. And you had, and then you had under that, you had ADHD. Now, ADHD was always under the autism umbrella as more of just neurodivergent, but not necessarily autism. Okay. So this is really important, because you have all of these 4 diagnoses, and you can go to the doctor, and you would be, you know, someone like, let's say someone like Obby versus, I don't know, I'm trying to think of someone, I don't want to say severity and autism. Someone a lot more, let's just say someone who is nonverbal, maybe. They would now possibly get the same diagnosis, but the reality is Obby would not get his diagnosis anymore. So after the DSM-5 changed, what happened is instead of, you would think the autism numbers would go on the rise, because now all these ADHDers and all these Asperger's people, now they are all getting the ASD diagnosis. But here's where it went wrong, and this is where the whole Autism Speaks protest came in, is because they made it so that to qualify for ASD, autism spectrum disorder, you had to be pretty heavily impacted. They were looking for the more classic autism. You had to have, I think it's 7 out of the 9. You had to score pretty high to get that. It became very difficult, and especially difficult if you were verbal, especially difficult if you were hyperverbal, if you were female, if you could mask well, which a lot of females tend to present, you know, better than a males can. And what happened was a shit ton of kids lost their therapies. See, in the UK, you guys just have, you know, everybody gets therapy. It doesn't matter. Here, your insurance has to cover it. And so what happened was, a lot of these kids were being kicked off their insurance. So like, oh, you don't have Asperger's is no longer considered autism. You know, you no longer qualify for therapy. So what happened then was, we had a huge inflation of now kids being diagnosed as ASD, when before they would not have qualified for that, but their parents are like, we need our child to still qualify for autism because there's services with the school, because there's services with therapies. This diagnosis removal literally has wrecked everything. And so now it is overly diagnosed, even though the criteria to actually be diagnosed is very rigid. It's actually it's more the more impacted side of autistics. So if Obby was to go and try and get re-diagnosed, myself, Riley, like a lot of us, probably would not even qualify under the actual DSM-5 diagnosis of autism.
I had that backwards, and my apologies.
No, it's okay. I'm really glad you brought it up though, because it does play a role.
It's
So
still relevant
if
to the
you have a
conversation,
child who needs speech therapy and your insurance doesn't just cover speech therapy, they might have to give you the 299 diagnosis, and now you have autism, and now you get that speech therapy. But Obby brought it up too, and I think it was Obby, maybe it was you, Evan. We also didn't always take our children to the doctor in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s as much as parents do today.
Yeah.
We didn't have quite the guidelines. Teachers called them behavioral. Did you know, I was not diagnosed until I was an early adult. You guys know that. As a child, I was labeled a misfit, peculiar, behavioral. I was labeled a bad child for the most of my life. My parents had a book on my coffee table called the Strong-Willed Child, How to Parent a Strong-Willed Child. Um, because they did not know what to do with me. So it was, you have to really see, like, as time goes on, and now that autism is talked about, is portrayed in movies, do you know how many adults have gone, holy shit, I'm autistic? I had no idea until I started seeing it portrayed in movies, because I thought autism was Rain Man. You know, in my generation, it was Rain Man. If you could not name off every baseball stat, if you couldn't recall things you ate 8 years ago on a Tuesday at 4 p.m., you're not autistic. You're just behavioral. You're bad mannered. You melt down. You have anger issues. You know,
There's
you have
also
horrible eye
crazy.
contact. You're rude. What's that?
It's also crazy that the same year that this all happened came out The Accountant, which is now like considered one of the best autistic representation movies of like all time. It came out the same year as this these standards. I forget the DSM-5 is how it's
DSM-5.
Yeah.
Yep, DSM-5.
It's the same year that
one of the
it came
few
out.
protests I've been to was to protest that one. That was so, it was so bad. It said F you to all these children that needed services. You know, I don't know what your guys' diagnoses are. I actually have a dual diagnosis, but but I was diagnosed Asperger's. And Asperger's and autism are very similar in the way our thought processes are, but also very different.
But they're different, yeah.
They're very
They're
different.
two different things here too. Although I don't really hear Asperger's being thrown around much these days, at least in the UK.
It's not a diagnosis anymore. You cannot be diagnosed with Asperger's. But I've had parents ask me, you know, does that mean my child no longer is autistic? And I'm like, no. Your child is still autistic. Just because Asperger's was removed as a diagnosis, I said that's just paperwork, you know. That's just that's just funding. That's literally just funding and a way to make us get some of these kids off the interns having to be liable and pay, which is really sad. A lot of it was very much financially driven.
It kind of badly, like, puts people in these boxes. It kind of takes away from the nuance of like the actual experience of having a diagnosis, because you're right, it really is just simplifying it into some bureaucratic paperwork of this is what they actually have. I wanted to, I kind of meant to circle back to this because I wanted to comment on it, and it was about how, kind of the talk of like having autism removed from society and kind of the dark undertones of that.
Yeah, we didn't get your side of that. Please.
And so for me, like, I think when I think you want to opt out of something, I think my ideal like society for autism would be, you aren't opting out of it prematurely, right? So your mother who hasn't given birth to you yet isn't going, oh, that one's autistic, okay, never mind. But I think that if you are an adult and you are, and there's a medication that exists, you as a sovereign individual can make the decision to cure it, right? I think that would be great. If you don't want to cure it, you don't have to. But for those who do want to, who feel like compelled to, they can. I think it's a very slippery slope when you get into the idea of removing something from society. And here's the problem.
You mean like people?
Well, and exactly, and here's the problem. The idea of like purging society of like quote unquote weakness or disability I can understand where it comes from. I can. I don't think it's a good or moral thing necessarily, but I do get where that school of thought originates. But the problem isn't even in like the idea of it or the ethics of it. It's also the methodology of it. When you have a society that wants to purge weakness or wants to get rid of things, nobody agrees on what it is, and the idea of how you approach that becomes irrelevant. Because today it's I want to just create a society where we don't have cancer in the world, right? But then the next day it's I don't want a world where there's kids in wheelchairs, and that's where it becomes really dangerous, and it changes the societal kind of like perception of these things too. So I would say, and of course there's problems around the world with this, I'm not pretending we live in a good day, but I would say like the overall cultural and social attitudes towards people with disabilities is in a much better place than it was. I think we're in a very good time. We have a lot of improvements to make, but I would say on the whole, across the board, people with disabilities, like, not so much from like governments, right? But I think people to people interaction, we're getting there, right? But when you create a society or you have a government or you have a large cultural identity of let's get rid of weakness or disability, that opens the door for a lot of mistreatment and a lot of judgment. And it makes life for the people who still deal with these disabilities every day a living hell. And that's something that is a massive issue. And that's what, we've seen already countries in the past that have tried to do this and the outcomes it leads to. And the other thing too is, and I don't think anybody watching this is going to be aligned this way, but if you for some reason are a eugenicist, there's also data, there's scientific proof that eugenics doesn't even work. You can try as hard as you can to purge weakness. You can ensure that the people who don't have predispositions don't breed with each other. Guess what? You can still get genetic traits. You can still have mutations. You can have the perfect family and you can still have someone disabled. So eugenics doesn't even work.
Yeah, well, there's even in utero injury. Like you cannot predict. It's like
it's impossible.
You cannot exactly. So exactly.
Yeah, and so it kind of is it's an oversimplification of something that's much more nuanced and complicated. So I of course want to cure my autism, but I don't want to be in a society that's trying to cure it or trying to create like screenings where if there's a potential for you to have autism, you just you're like, nah, I was gonna have the baby, but now I'm not because I know they could be autistic.
And see, that's where I think science gets a little slippery morally, but we won't go down that road.
Yeah.
That's not a road Skader thinks is gonna go down. But as far as us as a community, I do like that we can openly talk about autism, and we do a lot here. We have the FSFs where we talk about how hardships do affect us, because that's what you do. You get together with others that go through similar things, and you talk about it and you feel better about it. And that's what you do. You don't remove it, you don't get rid of it. There's no magic pill that can cure autism. It's not possible. Like I said, genetic, it's literally our genetic makeup, and without a brain transfusion of some sort, it's not really possible. There will always be medications that can help with aspects, like I said, though, especially things like like I said, anxiety and aggressiveness. When Riley was little, she was on a medication for aggressiveness, and it really helped her. She took it for like 2 years, and her developmental pediatrician, who's one of the top autism doctors in the Southwest, was like, you know what, Mom, I think we need to put her on this. And I said, okay. I trusted him, and she started talking while on it. She started, functioning much better on it. It helped her when she needed it. And that's what these meds are, that's what those supportive meds are. That's what the ADHD meds are for. If you are diabetic and you need insulin, you take it. You know what I mean? We're not anti-meds, but we are anti, trying to sell something as a cure that just isn't possible. Anxiety, talk to your doctor about it. If you have depression, you have something that you feel is tied to your autism, or just in general, talk to your doctor. See what options you have, and you and your doctor make a choice, but don't sell something to us politically. And because I can't wait to see how this plays out in court.
And it's very it's even more fucked up when you think like this is not just like trying to get rid of people with autism. This is also, hey, telling every woman who is ever pregnant, just don't take pain medication. Just tough it out. Just like, yeah, this very hard process that is like incomprehensible to any man in the world. No man can even think or fathom the pain and everything that goes along with pregnancy. Yeah, we can scientifically learn the process, but like you expect just everyone to be like, no.
The recommendation was dangerous. First of all, when you're pregnant, you don't want fevers. Your doctors don't want you having fevers. You're advised to take Tylenol to not have fevers while pregnant. A headache, okay, that's one thing, but a fever, because that person did literally say fevers. you can hurt your baby. You can cause major problems with the development of your child if you have fevers while pregnant. So we take advice from our doctors, everybody. That's who you have a question medically, talk to your doctor.
Talk to the trained professionals, not the business people
that went to school that don't just say I think. I think. Yeah. And yeah, it's hard. It's disheartening. It really is. I hate that we're being picked on. You know, it was hard enough when we got told, you know, our government also wants to put us on lists because lists are fun. And now we have this coming out. It
some
seems
of them
like
are on the
autism
list
is
too. Sorry.
But it's like, why are we being picked on? Like when you see autism trending like 6 different times in the last 6 months, it's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what is there some kind of breakthrough therapy that helps? Like, is it, hey, we're getting autistics are getting more funding? No, we're just gonna lie about what causes it. We're gonna try and push a med, and then we're gonna put you on a list. And we, you know, where's that list gonna go? I don't want to be on a list. So yeah, it's scary.
The only list
and it
I
is,
want to be on is the sexy list.
I want to be on Santa's good list because I got Christmas wants and needs. Thank you. What you want, Evan? You want the Santa's list or the sexy list?
Can I go for neither? Can I instead go for the strongest list?
Okay, yeah, sure.
And I'm tall, handsome, and I'm strong.
Okay. You ain't sexy though.
I didn't say I was sexy, even though I am. Yeah.
You're not on the sexy list like I am though.
Hey, no,
look on the bright side.
I
can't say that joke.
we have is were we, you know.
What? Okay?
Sorry, I just
you
briefly
call
glitched
you an ambulance?
No, I'm all good. I'm not going through any side effects of Tylenol.
You need to be put on an ambulance list.
Are you going through withdrawal? Here you go.
It's just yeah.
Let's get the tism flowing back in you. There you go.
The minute that any country introduces a registry, and particularly a registry that points out things that people might look down upon, disability,
like
right?
SSRIs.
Skin color, disability, orientation, anything of that nature, you need to run as fast as you can, or lie low as much as you can, because that puts you under the spotlight, and it makes it easier for the people who have an intolerance towards you to, you know, find you. It creates a society of distrust and fear. And fear is something that divides all nations and all countries, and it gets people hurting each other in the street. It causes all sorts of uproar and fear. And it's, you know, people, we like to think that we're very different from a lot of people, and we are, but, you know, human beings have a lot in common with each other, and it's very easy to form a community with people from all different backgrounds and mentalities and all things like that. But when you live in a time or a place where they're trying to sow division and make you distrustful of your neighbors and scared of your neighbors, then it makes it a lot easier to overpower you and tell you things like Tylenol causes problems. And
well, Americans are built different, and we all said the fuck, and then nobody listens, and now most everybody is mocking in the sense that we are, where Give us more Tylenol. Like I think if anything, this brought the autism community together. I've seen people that are even like kind of anti-vax, publicly anti-vax, who are like attacking this, also being like, oh, I just bought some stock in Tylenol, like, and you're going like, what? You're like the autism parent.
Yeah.
So in a weird way, this kind of brought
Especially
people
helping bring people
together.
together. Yeah, that's good.
Like even the vaccine side's like, whoa, hold on. This is our area. Like, come on, back off, you Tylenol people.
That's
So
You
yeah.
know you messed it up badly when even the people who are
Vaccine
anti-vax are trying to say, nah, you're fucking dumb, bro.
It just shows that even the misinformed or even the biggest idiots of society have a line of, dude, really? And if you've crossed that line with anti-vaxxers or people who distrust medicine as it is, then you've made an absolutely insanely stupid claim.
But we're also uniting all the other countries, and I feel like that's our good deed of the day. Is at least all the other countries are uniting, and they're misunderstanding of what the hell is going on here. Because
I don't think
like every single world health leader, like literally the day after, was like, by the way, country, we don't listen to them. Take Tylenol, it's fine.
I agree with
bringing
you.
You together.
You're bringing us together.
Silver lining.
It is a silver lining, but this is definitely not the design of the administration.
Of course not. But we have to find a way that our fuck up is somehow helping someone somewhere. Number one, it brought our community tighter. And I'm not saying ours isn't Skader. I'm literally saying the autism community as a whole on every social platform. Even those, and guess what? There's so many autistics here in the US, and we all have parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles and friends and teachers, and they're all pissed too. Yeah, so it's not even just like autistics. Like there's people that just have a neighbor who's autistic going, what the fuck? Like it's brought so many people together on all sides, I will say. So what should have probably had backfire, or what should have probably had done more division, is actually not. It's bringing people together. And look, we united a bunch of countries who all agree on one thing, and that's that we're fucking stupid and not to listen to us.
Oh, they thought that beforehand, Blue. Don't worry.
Don't listen to us medically. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think anyone really has wanted. Although there was a time we did kind of lead. There really was a time the U.S. and our medical side was respected. It really was, and it wasn't that long ago. But in the last 5 years,
it's been on a downhill like for the last
pretty much since 2020. I want to say 2020 was where we became a laughing joke, and
I think it's also.
This is just
I think it's also becoming safe for us now to kind of like culturally distance ourselves. Like I think a lot of
say it out loud.
Well, here's the thing. I think that even the allies of America, I think there's a part of us that knows that we don't really have a choice, because it's either we stand with America and we stay safe, or we stand against them and we maybe have some unwelcome visitors on our doorstep trying to encourage us to culturally assimilate to America. And so I think that I think the cultural shift in America is making it easier for us to kind of distance ourselves. Like the American influence that England is facing is wearing off very strongly. Like we made a decision. I won't talk about the specifics of it, but the UK, Canada, and Australia made a decision regarding the Middle East, which would have been like an absolute like pipe dream like 6 years ago, because it goes so strongly against what America would want us to do. But we did it anyway because we no longer feel that kind of straitjacket, I think, that American influence has us in. So it is. Yeah, 100%. We 100% are, and I think that for the longest time we couldn't. Whereas now we're in a stage where we actually can, and it's safer to do that.
We're uniting them all. We're really nice people.
This is how Rome fell.
Listen, there's nothing more uniting than
by ourselves.
There's nothing more uniting than everyone having a common enemy.
Exactly. Yep. So, Obby, okay.
We bring the peace that the world needed. We're basically the harbingers of world peace.
Yeah.
All right. So
I
I think I kind of want to wrap up this conversation.
Yeah.
Because I have other things I want to talk about too.
Okay,
Because very
awesome.
exciting
Let's do it.
things. But beforehand, I want to bring one of the funniest things that came out of this. So
yeah, it is funny.
earlier today, before we started recording, I asked the question, hey, is Tylenol copyrightable? Specifically the bottle, because Blue was thinking instead of having all these Minecraft heads around, I should just edit in a actual Tylenol bottle, like just somewhere on set.
Like,
and
right
yeah, I didn't want to do that. So I just asked if, hey, is it copyrightable? And she said, probably. Evan thought we were talking about the name. Yeah, I am. I won't lie. Evan thought we were talking about the name Tylenol. And so he came up with the idea that instead of Tylenol, we could start calling it Tydeval. And because, as quoted by Evan, because we're getting Tydeval this shit. And I thought that was hilarious.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Obviously, we're saying Tylenol, so we are not that afraid of that, but
good.
still.
Well, in our country, we say Tylenol. They don't use.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting is an interesting comparison. They can move when we can move on. Band-Aids, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what brand it is. You call them.
They're
Band-Aids.
bandages.
Plasters,
no, they're not. They're plasters. They're called plasters.
Called plasters? I've never heard it called
plasters.
plasters.
Yeah.
I've always heard it called bandages or band-aids.
Nope,
don't worry, it confuses.
American 99.9% of the time says Band-Aid. It doesn't matter what brand.
Doesn't matter what color.
We
also have bandages, but bandages are like those like white things that you wrap a wound in, not like those like sticky things like. And it's interesting too because I actually remember one time I was helping some Canadians in my store, and I showed them, here are the plasters, because they said, where are your band-aids? And I don't correct them. I don't go, oh, you mean I don't ever say that. Like if I know what they're talking about, I just take them to the product. It's not for me to correct them. And then I said, there you go, here's our selection of plasters. And they said, oh, thank you very much. And then as I was walking by, they go, oh my God, plasters, that's such a silly name. But it's true. But
it is.
There are many products.
Plaster myself
There are many there are many brands though that have entered into the English language. So for example, everybody calls hook and loop straps Velcro. That sticky stuff on your shoes, everyone calls it Velcro, but not everybody knows this. Velcro is a brand. It is not the name of the sticky hook and loop strap. Yeah.
Kleenex is a brand of tissue.
So I can't remember what you call.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. We don't refer to it as Kleenex, even if we have a non-Kleenex thing. But
we call it facial tissues, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just tissue. No. Yeah.
We mostly say Kleenex. Do you have any Kleenex? It's like if you say tissue, it could mean a bunch of different things.
And that's what we like to call them in non.
Yeah, we just mean tissue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're big on that here.
Yep. All right.
There's a name.
So what else you got? You got good news. What do you got? What do you have that's good?
I have very good news, actually. Actually, 2 pieces of very good news. Actually 3, because I just realized now that we've been recording for an hour, I don't have to worry about timestamps for that entire conversation. I'm going to love editing. Yeah, I'm going to love editing this episode. That's like the most annoying thing about editing these episodes, by the way, is getting all the timestamps for when we start shifting the conversation to somewhere else. Easily the thing that I hate doing the most. Okay, but... so 2 very good things happen. First things first, everyone, I'm walking without a cane now.
Yay, let's go. That's exciting.
Yes.
Your life is changing.
I have been walking without a cane a lot, except Monday, and we'll get to Monday in a second. But I have been walking without a cane now for like almost 2 weeks now, and have been feeling very fine. Going to physical therapy still, and it's been pretty life-changing. So now another good thing that happened is that on Sunday, my best friend finally got married to her fiance after now 10 years being in a relationship.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so happy for them. I was in the wedding. I was actually the flower dude at the wedding.
Oh.
So I got to dance to Come and Get Your Love and just throw flower petals all along the dance floor. So it was very nice, very cute. And I'm very happy about it. So, anyways, I decided, hey, I'm recovering fine from my surgery and everything like that. My foot's finally healing stuff. I should try dancing. What a fucking mistake that was. I literally woke up the next day and like basically my right foot felt like it was sprained. I felt like I sprained my right foot. I don't think it is though, because yesterday and now today it's felt a lot better and like I'm able to walk without a cane again. But like that first Monday after the wedding, I could not walk at fucking all. Like I tried using my knee scooter, which by the way, I have you either of you ever used a knee scooter before?
Yes. Yeah, I have.
It is so awkward.
I haven't.
Because it was
I'd rather just crawl.
Well, no. I like using a knee scooter before, but it is so awkward because it's my left foot that I had the surgery on and everything like that. So I got so used to using my knee scooter for my left foot and my left leg. And then the day came on Monday where I was like, maybe I should try using my knee scooter for my right leg. It feels so fucking awkward. It feels so hard to reposition my entire body, reposition my entire center of gravity on it, and not feel like I'm gonna fall every 10 seconds. To the point where I just started using crutches again because it's like, it's so much easier. Just use the crutches. But either way, I am so happy for my best friend. I'm happy with my progress I've been making. I have another wedding this Sunday that goes to one of my other friends from college. Luckily, I'm not in that one because I don't want to be there early again. I got there early for her wedding and we had to set up a shit ton of stuff. And then I sweated through my suit and I did not like that. But yeah, very nice time. And I'm thinking as soon as I'm done with that next wedding, I'm going to be calling my old employer to see if they will finally allow me to come back to work. So I'll probably be
big announcement.
I'll probably be off disability soon, and I will be probably working here soon again, which does mean a lot for like Skader things in general. And we'll talk about that in future time if I do get a job, because who knows, maybe I'll be unemployed.
We will.
Because, you know, this job market.
You got to have 2 days off a week. We can snag you for an hour and a half here and there. What's that? 3 hours, well, plus editing. So 6 hours a month.
No.
You're
crazy that I even agreed to edit this episode to be out this Friday.
Evan is in charge of planning the next one.
That is true.
Unless that's our anniversary one, because then if that's the anniversary, he's not in charge of that one, Obby.
We need to decide what we should do for the anniversary. Maybe we should I
think we should definitely play a game, and it'd be fun to have a few guests on, like from this past year. But I was
thinking that we should do like some, you know how like we do the yearbook superlatives and have just stupid awards.
Yeah. That would be fun.
I actually have a really good idea, and I've wanted to do this as a generic Skade like game show, but I actually think it would work perfectly to have it on Skader things first as like a little trial. And if it worked well on here, I could actually bring the concept to Skade. I need to discuss it with you guys, but I think it will be a lot of fun. And
I have something to tell you after this podcast episode, but yes.
Okay.
What is it? We're still waiting.
Yeah, go ahead and talk.
Sorry.
You never said the idea.
Countdown. So the UK has a game show called Countdown, and it's one of the longest running TV shows in the UK. It's still going to this day, and essentially it's a game where you have letters and numbers. So you have 2 types of rounds. You have a letters round and you have a numbers round. In the letters round, you have a choice of 9 letters. They are between vowels and consonants, and you have to choose an assortment of them. And then there'll be 9 random letters. So you might go, can I have a consonant, please? And another consonant. Could I have a vowel? Another vowel. Could I have a consonant? And you make 9 letters, right? Then you have 30 seconds to come up with like the best and longest word that you can. And then you do that a few times. And then after that, you have your numbers round. So you press a button on during the game show that generates a random 3-digit number. It can be 100 to 99, and you have 6 numbers, and you have to try and use those numbers once to make that full number. It sounds way more complicated in how I'm explaining it. I promise it's not, though. But you'd have 6 numbers, and then you can multiply them, divide them, add or subtract them, but you can only use them once, and you have to try and make the target number. So let's say the number was like 675, and there was a 6, there was a 100, there was a 75, and a 25. You have 30 seconds to try and make 675 with those numbers, basically.
Okay.
And I think it's a lot of fun. We'd have to do like a couple of trial games just to make sure like you were both cool with it. But I honestly always wanted to host this, and I think for a Skade Things episode, it would be really fun.
Well, you do get to host one, so.
And there's other fun little like things that go with countdowns. So there is like little like segments where they take a break from the game and they tell like funny stories, or they do like funny hosting things. I think it would be fun, but it's very conceptual, and I'd have to kind of run it through you guys in a more formal way. And again, the game sounds more complicated than it is because it's not a game you can really explain. You just have to play it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I am down. Hey, it will be your episode, so you get to choose what we do.
You get to do an episode, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, next episode though, I think it might be the episode for like a year, because actually no, I think so. It's the 18th, which the 18th is on a week that would not have an upload. So it would we'd be like either the week before or the week after. Do we want to do it the week before is Evan's, and then the week after is the thing?
Yeah, let's do that.
So yeah, Evan,
works for me. So
make sure you have it all refined for next time.
Yeah, we'll do.
And that would mean next week.
Yeah,
so you guys, the three of us will have to meet probably in a call before that one, just so I can run through the game, because I don't want it to I don't want there to be any issues during the episode.
Yeah. Okay. No problem. So, anyways, you guys just got to witness a Skader Things meeting and how we plan out our.
Yeah. Hi. That was fun. Yeah.
This is how we plan out our episodes. I do like the idea of having guests for our year
I think
anniversary.
it would be fun. Yeah, we can get a call and have them, unmute at certain times or something, and maybe play some games. Like
they could be the ones who vote for the awards.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, so we'll probably have to have a meeting here in the next couple of days to start getting this figured out.
Yeah. I'm very excited. But yeah, Evan, I have some news for you on a game show front. That I think it's fine for me to say this. Content team has been planning a game show for a very long time, and we are going to be starting recording it very soon here. I have no idea when this will be uploaded to YouTube. Don't ask me. We still haven't even recorded the first episode. But we do have a very interesting concept for a game show idea that I have been wanting to do for a while. Supa has been helping me a lot, and we're definitely excited to get started on this. And we are probably going to be asking for like people who want to volunteer as contestants soon, because we're wanting to do a pilot episode first. Like we want to do a pilot episode, see how people feel about it, see if it's something that skaters will enjoy or not. And then depending on how skaters feel about it, then we will commit to like a full season of it. So
that's fun.
But yeah,
Evan would probably be very good for that.
I think I would, yeah, easily.
Well,
being a contestant, meaning.
Well, you got to see what it's going to be like first,
Oh, okay.
I'm being very vague on the details for a reason. But yeah, so it is going to be pretty fun. A lot of things coming up for Skade Gaming YouTube channel, and I'm excited for it. And we still have a few more members that we still haven't even done Skader Things podcasts for.
Yeah, we still have a few more to get in. Yes.
I have been annoyed now 3 separate times. I'm calling her out. Amanda, a Moodle over here, has messaged me 3 separate times now. Hey, when is my podcast episode? I don't know. I don't know, Amanda. Stop messaging me. She's not going to watch this, by the way. So anyways, you'll get
Amanda,
to it
if
soon.
you watch this episode, send me a random message saying flank steak.
Yeah,
Message flank steak if you watch this episode.
If you say flank steak, you will be the next guest. Let's put it up to that. Like, see if she listens. All right. But yeah, I'm doing good. This
I'm glad
week.
to hear it, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to hear that.
I need to get back to the gym now,
tomorrow.
though. Oh yeah, it is your birthday tomorrow.
Yeah, it's actually his birthday in half an hour. So
wow,
that's right.
You're gonna be finally 54. Congrats!
Yay!
About right.
Yeah.
Time they started making my age range accurate.
Yeah. If you guys didn't know, Blue is actually the youngest member of the podcast.
I'm the baby. Hi.
So.
Yeah.
It was actually Evan became
baby.
pregnant with Blue.
Yeah, Daddy.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Daddy over there, but Obby's not going to edit him in, but we all know Pedro's over there.
Yeah, Pedro hid in the bush, but he's not there anymore.
I am Blue's daddy, and Blue is my disobedient daughter.
Did you take a lot of Tylenol during her pregnancy?
I was going to say, what did you take? What did you take? We haven't talked about the dad side of it. What happens when the dad takes something too? Are we extra autistic?
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Or is it just from the mom? What if it's hanging out in the boys?
Well, actually,
and you got autistic boys?
Tylenol riddled.
And I threw up in my mouth. All
okay,
right.
So I'm gonna censor that out. So actually, in the so in the ADHD thing that they the study for ADHD correlation with medicine, they actually did do a study on what about outside of pregnancy. So they tested women 4 years before and 4 years after pregnancy if having that medication has any noticeable impact on specifically ADHD. I don't know if they did it for autism. This video I watched only said that this was for the ADHD study, but yeah, it literally said was null. So it's only when you're pregnant, people. It's only when you're pregnant.
Oh, I guess I'll go put my Tylenol.
You got to be ovulating. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Puts down my. Guess I'll just get rid of all my Tylenol.
Yeah.
It's not gonna make me be super autistic.
Sorry, you lost the privilege to be.
There we go. I got it. Look at Evan. He's still rolling on the ground, licking windows.
It's crazy how fit he is at 54.
I want the Tylenol. I want it all.
You've had enough autism today, sir.
No, I'm going through withdrawals. I need more.
This is an insane episode.
It is, but it is. I feel like, you know, when it was suggested that we exactly, because again, we can't pretend the things happening aren't happening. They are. We don't talk politics on Skade. Everybody knows that. We do not talk politics. And we three sat and discussed, you know, can we have this episode without really going political and not really bringing up per se politics as much as just this is what has been said. Yeah, well, we're not going into details. It's clearly our president that said this. There's no going around that. But we're not naming names. We're not discussing the president himself. It's more of the ludicrous accusations of Tylenol causing autism. And as autistics, how do we feel about it? Because we are actually autistic. And my recommendation to everyone is if you want to know something about autism, talk to an autistic. If you want to know something about ADHD, talk to someone with ADHD. Don't talk to the people that just talk because there's a lot of people that like feel like they know and they want to represent and they just don't know because they're not actually that. So talk to an autistic, see how they feel about the Tylenol being the catalyst of autism. Because a lot of them are like us. They're making jokes because when something is just beyond ludicrous, You don't even get mad. You just laugh, and that's where we're at.
You
So, yeah.
you have to have a lot of comedy mixed in with all this to kind of help you get through the hard times. But that doesn't mean you can't have serious moments and serious
Right.
talks. And
And I
guys,
feel like
that's
this
why I
talk had
believe.
both. Yeah.
I agree, and that's why I think, guys, it's really important that you get an extra fix of Tylenol, clear up those headaches, make sure that your entire lineage has autism
Only
in some
if you're
way.
pregnant. Don't forget.
And
Don't have
keep
them
on.
waste their Tylenol if they're not
No,
pregnant.
you can't risk it. You got to make sure that they have as much of a chance of mutating a form of autism or some
Oh,
kind
you
of
mean what if you
hereditary.
take it before you get pregnant and you can build up your Tylenol within you? You can build up
It's
your
kind of what
Tylenol
I'm
autism in you before you ovulate.
kind of what I'm getting at. It's kind of what I'm getting at. And and again, like, I of course I won't use the term again, but
Pretty sure
the
someone slipped some Tylenol in my drink right
men
before I got pregnant with Riley.
make sure you're getting your quick fix of Tylenol, because you never know who you might end up with, and you never know how much of your Tylenol consumption might influence her pregnancy,
I think Evan was right. I am getting tired of all of this shit.
Very nice. Very nice.
So anyways, as the
All
momentum to this episode, I think it's only fitting that we add the Tylenol. Yeah, I said memento. The Tylenol bottle to the set, shouldn't we? I think it's
gotta be somewhere like pretty good.
Yeah.
Why don't you do the honors, Blue?
Speaking of the set, you guys probably have noticed there's a lot of different things going on the set. This is temporary because we updated to 1.21.8. A lot of pack things have changed and are currently in the works of being fixed. That's why we don't have the alien over there and we have a giant teddy bear instead that looks albino for some reason.
Fucking stupid albino teddy bear.
Whoa. I never said anything about him being stupid. Come on, Evan. He's got feelings too.
Intolerant. Fuck his feelings. Stupid teddy bear.
You know what? That's how you know you've had too much Tylenol today.
Yeah.
Is how you're talking right now.
You're right. I'll fix this by having some more Advil.
Thank goodness.
That just gives you ADHD.
Nice.
What do you think the A stands for in Advil? ADHD. It stands for a whole nother acronym.
Attention deficit villainy. Advil.
Attention deficit villainy? That's crazy.
Yeah, well, I think it fits. Don't you, Blue?
Sorry, completely wasn't listening. What'd you say?
We were talking about Advil, and I was saying, and he was like, "Well, it makes sense. It's in the acronym Advil," and I was like, "Yep, attention deficit villainy."
There we go.
So glad.
Never forget this episode.
Yep. One day this set's gonna change.
Well, let's.
One day we won't feel like we're trying to be removed from society. One day.
Take one day.
Let's end this.
We'll start taking one a day. Let's see if.
Can you imagine if they said it was like coffee? Can you imagine if they said it was like coffee?
That would everything is going to be fine. Everyone who's watching,
or like Dr. Pepper or Mountain Dew.
Everything will be absolutely
those would
fine.
Make a little sense.
Nothing bad will happen. We're going in a great direction, and just make sure you have more Tylenol to get you through these hard times. And we should end this episode as we mean to continue on. And I think if our beginning of this episode anything off to go off of, I'm very excited to do this outro with all of you. So guys, really important that we end this episode on a high note, guys. And I want to thank you all for taking the time to listen to us rant on about Tylenol. I know you're probably tired of all this shit, and we promise we will not be talking about Tylenol. Well, I can't promise we won't talk about Tylenol again, but it will not be to quite the same absurd extent that we've taken this to, and it will be with nowhere near as many Tylenol-related jokes. But yes, thank you. Please make sure you are getting your dosage of Tylenol, and yeah. Please remember to leave a like if you enjoyed the episode, or don't. If you're very amped up on Tylenol, it can be easy to forget. So there's no judgment.
True.
It's not
please leave a comment.
Amp you up. It just gives you more of the tism.
It amps
the tism.
up.
If you're feeling extra tismy right now,
It amps up the autism.
Your
okay?
paracetamol sounds way more fun than our Tylenol.
It amps up the autism. All right, just enjoy my
Woo,
medical
the fever
slang.
is gone. Let's go.
Please remember to leave a comment, and yeah, we will catch you in the next episode.
Flank steak.
All right.
Remember,
See
DM
you
everybody.
later.
DM Evan flank steak.
Everyone DM me the word
No,
flank steak.
only Amanda. Only Amanda.
Oh, that's
Only
true.
Amanda.
Just a moodle. Just a moodle.
All right. Okay, jargon. I'm telling you, don't do it. Owly, you better fucking not. Thanks, everybody. Goodbye. Woo!
Goodbye.